Hey you guys, it's the Gaming Mermaid and welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to show you how to make custom content clothing recolors. So I'm going to show you two examples and I am in the process of creating Apple White, as you can see here. So I want to make a couple changes, and one is her shoes. As you can see, the bows on them are gold. So I'm going to make the bows on here gold. And I want to try to maybe make the dress a little more like this one. So I'm going to have to change the shape of this a little bit and recolor it as well. So if you are not aware of how to create custom content recolors, please refer to my original video, which will show you all the basics and everything you need. This is going to be a more advanced tutorial. So if you're not aware, please check that. I will list it in the description below. And once you have done that, then you can refer to this one afterwards. So let's get started. So what I use to make my clothing recolors is the Sims 4 Studio. Again, I will list that in the description below. So you're going to need Photoshop or GIMP or a photo editing software that can open and save DDS files. Also, I almost forgot to mention that there are templates for the males, females, and children for their skins, and that shows you the areas in which each body part is located, so that can also help you to determine where clothes should be placed if you are changing the shape of something. So as you can see here, this is the face area. For this tutorial, we're not going to focus on that. We are going to focus on the body. So this is what a Sims 4 body, female body, looks like, and as you can see, it's back and forth like this, so it's all in one. So it can be a little bit complicated to try to picture, but this is how they are placed. So for example, if you were to say make a top, you are going to want to focus on this area, and then if you want to make a long sleeve top, you will also need to focus on these areas as well. So keep that in mind. So I'm going to show you an example. We're going to place this in Photoshop so that you guys can see, and we're going to go over here to create a Sims standalone. I already went under female, adult, and clothing top. So I'm going to scroll down here to the tank tops, and we're going to recolor this tank top right here. So I'm going to click next, and then you can save it. I already saved it as top. So this is what we are going to recolor. So we're going to export this. All right, so I'm going to copy this, and we are going to paste this in here so that we have an idea of what we are looking at. So as you can see here, this is focusing only on the top area. If we wanted to also add sleeves, we'll also need to focus on this area in the alpha channel. So for this alpha channel, as you can see, it is empty. So in order to make sleeves, we will need to add white into this area. So I'm going to leave this open so that we can actually see what to color, and I'm going to take my white and we are going to just try to color that in as accurately as possible. But I just want to quickly show you guys how you can change the shape of something without actually creating a new mesh. So hopefully this will give you guys some ideas on how you can change certain things and create completely new items without actually having to make meshes. Those require a lot of time and knowledge on, 3D modeling. And unfortunately, I don't have that kind of knowledge. So this is one way that I use to be able to get around that and to create new things without it being too complicated. So hopefully this will help you guys out as well. So I'm just going to hide this for a moment. And as you can see, I didn't color anything here, so it's going to show up completely stark white. But again, I just want to show you an example. So we're going to save this and we're going to re-import that. So that was under here. So as you can see, this is what it looks like now. It's definitely a work in progress, but you can change the shape of something. So for this example, I'm going to go back so that we can go back to the alpha channel, and what we're going to do, what it's showing is that it's showing part of the shoulders here and the underarms. So that is this area right here. So we're going to go back with our white and we are just going to color this in. Make sure you're in the alpha channel, and we're going to color this in with white like so. And I'm going to do that over here as well. And it's also showing a line here. So we're just going to elongate this a little bit more so that we don't have that stark line there. And then we can go and do the same on the other side. So let's take a look. So now we have closed that gap right there, and we also closed this gap. And as you can see, it's showing these stark little lines because that is what is shown over here. So you're going to want to, of course, cover that up and change the texture of this. But I just wanted to show you an example that you can change the length of something. You can also shorten this. So let's say we want to make it a crop top. So we're going to go back over here to the alpha channel, and I'm going to just hide this so that we can only see this area. So I'm going to select this, and what you can do is you can either erase it completely by using black, or you can make it a different opacity. Let's say we want to make the opacity of the sleeves to be a little bit sheer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a dark gray color here, and I'm going to select that, and we are just going to color this area right here. I did that by holding Control and then clicking on this layer. So we're going to do that, and that way we don't color over any of the black area or the other white areas. Okay, so I'm going to resave this, and now we're going to re-import that. So now you can see that there are sleeves here, but they are very sheer because we used a very dark gray color. So that is another idea. And again, if we want to crop this, just another example to throw out there, we can use black. So we are just going to use black, and we are just going to crop it like so. So let me just make this a little bit smaller so that I don't go over to the sleeves. So there we go. So now we can resave this, and there's a little bit of white, so let me just go ahead and cover that up as well. And now we can resave this, and there we go. So now we made a very cropped tank top with sheer sleeves, and of course you're going to want to change the texture of the tank top itself. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's cover the alpha channel and put the RBG channel back on. So just to make things simple, I'm just going to cover this completely with white so that it looks somewhat decent. Again, this is just an example, and of course you guys can do whatever you want. You can add your own textures. So there we go. There is our newly created tank top, crop tank top with sheer sleeves. So I hope that this helps you guys out. And also, if you guys see these gray bra straps that show up, that only shows up in the Sims 4 Studio. That will not show up in the game. It's just the default that the character is wearing in Sims 4 Studio, but I just want to let you guys know about that. And since we are going to be recoloring custom content that other creators have made, in order to do that, you will need to go to your files here, go to My Documents, and then we are going to go to Electronic Arts, The Sims 4, and Mods. And this is where all your mods will be. I have them listed in separate folders, but we are going to start off with these shoes right here. So these shoes are by Salem. So I am going to look up Salem. As you can see, I already did that. And we're just going to try to find the shoes. These shoes are right over here by Salem 2342. So if you guys are wondering, this is the original mesh, and I will link that in the description. So we're going to look up the wedge heels with bow. So we're just going to look over here and try to find them, and here we go. So I'm going to copy this, and then what you're going to want to do is go back to My Documents, and then we are going to go to Sims 4 Studio. We go here to Mods, and then this is where you can paste mods that you want to recolor that aren't originally from the game. So if you guys were wondering, that is how you do that. So now that those are in the Sims 4 Studio mods folder, then we can go to Sims 4 Studio and open that up. I'm going to go here to Create a Sim Standalone, and we are just going to let that load up, and then I'm going to search up Salem. So here they are right here, and we are just going to go and click Next. This is where you will want to name the file whatever you want it to be called. So in my case, I'm going to call it Gaming Mermaid Apple White Shoes. I already tried this before, so I'm just going to replace it. and now they are in the Sims 4 studio, as you can see here. So I'm going to try to change the bows into a gold color. So in order to do that, we are going to go over here to the texture and export that. And then you're going to want to name that whatever you would like it to be called. So now it is a DDS file. So you're going to need Photoshop or GIMP or a photo editing software that can open and save DDS files. So I'm going to use Photoshop CS5, and now this is what we have here. So this is the mesh. So this is what we're working with. It can be a little challenging to be able to differentiate what is what. For me, sometimes it's a guessing game, to be honest. I'm going to guess that this area right here is the toe area here, and then the back portion is the back here, like all in one, like this. I'm just guessing, but I'm going to guess that this area is the bow. So we're going to try to recolor that and then see if that works. So I'm going to try to recolor this in gold. So I'm going to make a new layer and then maybe choose like a goldish color. So I'm going to actually go over to this magic wand here, and I'm just going to select that to make my life a little bit easier. And now I'm going to go up a new layer, and I'm just going to fill that with the gold color. So let's see if that works. So we're just going to save this, and we're going to save this as, and you're going to go here to DDS. You want to make sure that is a DDS file. And this is what you will need. So I'm just going to go ahead and save that. And now we're going to go back over to Sims 4 Studio, and we're going to import that new file. So as you can see, that was not it. So let's go back. This is why I did it in a new layer. So if I make any mistakes, we can just erase it and go back. So I think I'm going to go and try to do this area. So we're going to do a new layer, and let's see if this area is where the bows are. And as you can see, this is quite a time-consuming process. So there we go. So that area right here, that was the bow area. So like I said, this is all trial and error. You know, sometimes this is a little bit tricky because, you know, every creator creates their meshes differently. They don't always have instructions on how to recolor them. So as you can see, I just figured out that if I only color half of this little block area, this half is the bow and this half is the straps. So it's always a trial and error process to try to figure this out. And then you can also change the thumbnail colors, and you can have multiple thumbnail colors. So in this example, since I have red and yellowish color, I'm just going to add a yellowish thumbnail. So as you can see, what that does is that it actually makes the thumbnail color swatch double. So now, you know, if you are looking at this in Create-A-Sim, you will know that this has red and yellow in the shoes. So that is the first example, and you can also make a custom thumbnail if you would like. I'm just going to go ahead and save that, and then we're going to look at those in game. So in order to do that, you will need to go and find out where you saved your custom content that you just made. So for me, I have them saved over here on my desktop, and I have it under Applewhite. So this is the new package file. So I'm going to copy this, and then I'm going to put this in my mods folder. And again, if you are not aware of where to find your mods folder, you're going to want to go to My Documents, Electronic Arts, The Sims 4, and Mods. And then here, however you organized your mods is how it will be placed. And then you're going to paste that in. So these are the original shoes, and here are the recolors we just created. So this is what it looks like in the game. So yeah, a very simple recolor, but that is basically how you recolor clothing. So let's move on to a more complicated piece. We're going to go ahead and try to change the opacity and try to change the shape of a dress. So I'm going to use this dress by DK Clown, and it is the Lolly Dress 02. And she conveniently placed the file name, so it'll be easier for us to find it in our mods folder. So you're going to want to go back to your mods folder, again, My Documents, Electronic Arts, The Sims 4, Mods, and I am going to look up YF Lolly dress. So I'm going to put YF Lolly, and it already comes up. So it's dress 02. So you're going to want to copy that and then again paste that into your Sims 4 Studio. So again, you're going to go to My Documents and then Sims 4 Studio and then Mods. So you're going to paste that in here so we can go back to the Sims 4 Studio, and then we're going to go to Create a Sim Standalone. And what you're going to want to do is look up YF Lolly. And if you see pictures like this, you can hover your mouse over and it'll show you the title of it. So for this example, I am going to be using the red one, but if you aren't sure what color it is, what you can do is while you are in the game, you can just count off the swatches to find out exactly which color you want to use for your recolor. So as you can see here, you're going to want to go to your swatches and then just count off how many you have. So we want the red one, so we're just going to count off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So as you can see, this starts off with 0, and then it goes on to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So this is actually the 8th dress here. So we're going to click on this one and then go to next, and then we're going to save that as whatever file name you want it to be saved. So now you will have your red dress here in Sims 4 Studio. So now what you want to do is export this, and I'm going to save it as apple white dress. So now we have that saved in our files here, and I'm going to open that up, press OK. So now you can see what this recoloring mesh looks like. And in order to change the shape or the opacity, you're going to want to go to Channels and go to the Alpha channel. So I'm going to close that, and this is the alpha channel to change the shape of something. So if it's black, that means it will not show up, and if it's white, that is what will show up. So as you can see in this example, everything that is colored is what is being shown, and then any little bits like these blue bits here, those are not being shown, as you can see in the alpha channel. So whatever is colored outside of the alpha channel or in the black area will not show up, and what is in the white area will show up. So to demonstrate what I mean, let's just go ahead and try to cut this area out, the white area, with the lace. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually just keep this all open so that I can actually see what I am erasing. And then I'm going to use black, and then we are going to color over this. So as you can see, it's already starting to disappear. So I'm just going to go over here so I can actually see what I'm doing. So we're going to try to make this a little bit more even. So let's go ahead and save this. And again, we're going to save that as a DDS and replace that, press OK. And then we're going to go back over here to the Sims 4 Studio and import our new thing. So as you can see, we just got rid of the entire lace portion, even though it still shows up in the color. Since we changed the alpha channel, that means that we completely removed that from being visible in the game itself. So I just wanted to show you guys that's another way that you can recolor items. And again, if we wanted to change the color of this, what you can do is you can either make a new layer and then you can recolor it under color. Let's say we want like a blue color. So we can change it like that. If you want a brighter blue, you go back to this layer and then we can change the brightness and the contrast so that we can make a brighter blue, less contrast, more contrast. Or instead you can go to hue and saturation and you can change the colors from there, as well as the saturation and the lightness. Now, if you want to make a completely different pattern, what you can do is you can go on Google. You can just look up any patterns that you want. So let's look up lace patterns and see what we can use here. So let's say we want to make an overlay. So maybe we can use this picture here. I'm going to go and view the image, and then we are going to save this. And also, while you are looking for patterns, it would be a good idea to find a pattern that is a PNG file. That way, as you can see, the background is actually empty. It'll be a lot easier if you're looking to do an overlay or something like that, so you don't have to erase anything. It's all done for you. And we're going to open this in Photoshop. So I'm going to copy and paste this into our file here. So as you can see, it's very big, so I'm going to click Control T to resize this. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus this on the skirt portion. So we're going to try to resize this a little bit more. Obviously, you guys would take a lot more time doing this. I'm just trying to show this as a quick example. So let's say we want to do that. We're going to merge these layers together to make it a little bit simpler. And what you can also do is you can change the color of it by going to color overlay. Let's say we want a goldish color, so we can do something like this. And then you can also change the opacity of it. So let's go ahead and change the opacity a little bit, or you can go to layer styles and then change the layer style of it and see if that makes any sort of a difference. Sometimes that can give you a different effect as well. So I'm going to go with that, and I'm just going to erase around this bow here. So we're just going to do that very quickly just to show you guys. All right, so I'm going to go here and save this under a DDS file and resave that, and then we're going to go back over here and we're going to re-import that. So as you can see, now we have that overlay. Again, like I said, obviously you guys will want to take a little more time to make this a little bit better, but I hope that this helps you guys with creating recolors. I hope I showed different techniques that you can use. So yeah, if you guys have any other questions, just leave them in the comments down below and I will try to answer them to the best of my ability. And everything that I have found, the custom content that I found, I will link them in the description below. Be sure to check that out for anything before asking a question. It might already have been answered. So yeah, I hope that this helps you guys out. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.